So you know I'm paid in full.
Hey, what's going on? It's another episode of the Teel podcast, and like always, I have another great guest, Ms. Alexis Holder. What's going on?
What's up?
Man, I'm hanging out. I'm chilling. It's my second one of the day, so I'm doing my job. Yeah. But we're gonna have a good time.
Yep.
Let's get into it. Let's go to the tattoo route first. When did you start tattooing?
Probably about 4.5 years ago.
Cool. Was that here? Are you from here?
Actually, I was born in Mississippi. Long story.
Cool.
But I started in Omaha, Texas, at a place called Re-Inked, which was a place that primarily did cover-ups. And I was literally working my job at Spring Market in DeKalb, Texas, and somebody said, "Hey, you said," because like I sometimes will just say like I want to be a tattoo artist. So I think I said that one day, and someone was checking out, and they were like, "Hey, I know somebody whose apprentice just quit. You know, do you want to maybe go and talk to him?" So I literally left my job early. I told him, I was like, "Hey, I have to go run an errand really quick." Went to Omaha. I took some of my like artwork that I've done, and the person I was dating at the time, I'd done a lot of tattoos on her as well, and she was like my portfolio. So he was just like a guy. His name was Billy Friday. He owns like a new shop now. I think I don't know what it's called.
Here in town?
I think it's somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what city or anything.
Billy Friday.
Yeah.
That sounds like a tattooer.
I know, right? He's been doing it for
Like
years.
That sounds.
But he told me, he was just like, "Put some gloves on, and I want you to pull a line on the guy I'm tattooing." And the guy's name was Mario. And he was like, "Mario, you care if she tattoos you?" And he was like, "Nah, bro, let her go."
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy.
I told him, I was just like, "Wow, you really put me on the spot." And he was like, "Well, if you're a tattoo artist, you're going to be put on the spot a lot." So I was like, "Okay, all right." So he was doing this big traditional piece on this dude's thigh. I put gloves on. I hold his machine. You know, he doesn't tell me anything like what to do. I'm literally just going off what I do at my house. And I just started tattooing him. And it was like one straight line. And it was like a thick liner too. And I did it at the same volts. I didn't change any of his settings. Did it. He was like, "All right, you're hired." I was like, "Oh, all right." So he gave me a banana, like the actual fruit. And he gave me a stencil to put on the inner curve and outer curve of the banana. And I tattooed it. And I didn't bleed through the skin of the banana. And he said that there's a lot of older people that come in that won't like cover-ups.
Oh, wow.
So that was my introduction.
Oh, well, I never heard of a banana before.
It was hard.
I've heard of like pig skin and stuff like that, but no, a banana. No, I never heard of that. That's cool.
I've had some people say that they've like tattooed pig heads, and I just could never imagine.
I've seen that like Ink Masters too. Like the first episode of one of them seasons, they went into like a
butcher shop.
Butcher shop, and they were just hanging.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
No, I want to go hunting for the first time in my life.
Never been hunting?
I'm so nervous.
What do you want to hunt?
Deer. Yeah. Because I mean, I feel like they're bigger, you know. So I have a bigger target, and I feel like I'm also going to be the type that I'm going to take my time. So if I encounter a deer, as long as it doesn't look at me in my soul, I'll be able to like maybe shoot it. Because I know that.
You think you'd hesitate? You think there might be some hesitation in your heart about killing it? Is it like the killing the animal thing? Is that what it is?
I think it's the killing the animal because I know it's going to be eaten. I know that all of its parts are going to be put to use, but it's it's just like I've never killed anything like on purpose.
It's something. Yeah, it's an exciting moment for like right as you're about to pull the trigger. Like it doesn't get more exciting than that. Like,
yeah, somebody told me it was the adrenaline. I think it was my first tattoo today. She told me that it was all about the adrenaline.
Dude, it's like you got the really like that's a really cool moment right before you shoot a deer. I've shot like 4, and it's
she said that adrenaline gets you. It's like you're stuck.
But I done got wiser now. I always go somewhere I can rest it. Like, because I was in the military, I know how to shoot. But like as I get older, I'm a little shakier. And so now I don't hunt nowhere I can't rest it. If I can rest it, I can hit anything.
I feel like I have pretty steady hands with tattooing and stuff.
Yeah,
so
you ought to. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so you never been hunting. But let's back to tattoos. See, that's how far I'll be gone. So okay, you tattooed a banana. You got hired. Mostly cover-ups. What's the trick with cover-ups? Is there any type of
So the thing that I ended up covering up, like I haven't done a lot of cover-ups, but I ended up, so even though it's like primarily a cover-up shop, I did a lot of walk-ins and I did a lot of them. one thing that I remember covering, it was like a dark feather that this woman had. She's a little bit older. And Billy was telling me that I could cover it with like flowers. I didn't believe it because I was thinking, we're going to be putting a purple color in these like flowers. It's not going to go. Well, I found that as long as the color that you are using, you can pack it in pretty good. As long as it's not like a super light color, more than likely you'll be able to cover almost anything.
You can go over black with color?
Yes.
Wow.
Like her tattoo, it wasn't like black, but I mean, it was dark. Like you could tell. And automatically I was doubting it. I was like, this isn't going to work. But then after I packed in the purple, I was like, oh my God, it covered it up. And she was tan too. So I was like, it just kind of blew my mind. And I'm seeing people do cover-ups now that are crazy.
Yeah, it's like hiding it, huh?
Yeah.
But you can, is it more about hiding it or like you're saying, you can just straight up go over it, huh?
I mean, you can go over it, but I think that what it is really is whenever somebody wants a cover up, it's because it's like a part of their life that they don't want to remember.
Right.
A lot of the times it's names. That's why we usually say it's bad juju to get names because...
Oh, I would never give it a name. I have my mom's name on me and I covered it up just because it was just janky. But
yeah, I felt that.
But no, I don't have no names on me.
Like I myself, I have some tattoos that aren't like the best quality, but I wouldn't cover them up because like, I mean, that was a part of my life. So
yeah, I've only covered one. It was a cross and I put a bigger cross.
I mean, did you cover it?
Yeah, it was a little cross.
And now it's a big one.
Now it's a big cross.
All right.
What was your first tattoo?
On my side, I got Tiger Never Lose Sleep over the opinion of sheep.
There you have it. Did it hurt?
Oh, yeah. I got it on a...
How old were you?
17.
17.
Yeah. I was on someone's couch.
I was 15.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Were you on
the
a couch?
Cross. Yeah. I was at I was in somebody's trailer.
Me too. It's where I lived.
Yeah. This was in like... was it Glen Acres? It was like over there by Liberty Island.
Mine was in Nashville. Mine was in Nashville.
Yeah. My parents were not happy. When did you get caught with it or what?
Oh no, the guy who did it.
Yeah.
He said, "You're not going to get a tattoo unless I get confirmation from your mom that I can do this." I was like, "Hey mom, I'm getting a tattoo." I didn't tell her it wasn't in a shop. I just told her I was getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he needs confirmation that like I can get it done. And she was just like, what the hell? No. But then she was just like, yeah, you can get it done. So it was like, he started it, but he was in the bathroom for like an hour or two. And I'm pretty sure he was doing some drugs.
Yeah.
And then he came out and his pupils were real big and he was like, all right, let's get to it. And I was like,
ready to go.
Yeah. And then not long after the tattoo was done, I looked at it after like an hour and I was looking at it and I was just like, the word doesn't have like an apostrophe in it. So I was like, hey, I need that apostrophe. He was like, are you sure it's going to hurt? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm fine. So it was like 2 hours after I had gotten the tattoo at this point. And then he went back to touch it up. Well, whenever he saw that the apostrophe wasn't there, he saw some stuff that he could touch up. So he started touching it up. And then I started to dry heave because I was like, oh shit. That's the only time I've ever like almost tapped out on a tattoo. That shit hurts when you start messing with it. I hate when you're in like a long one and it starts to hurt when they're rubbing. And you know you're in trouble and it's been hours and shit. It did like 9 hours on my stomach. That was awful. And like it got down. There's a part that touches my belly button. That shit hurt really bad. I bet.
But no, I didn't get my parents' permission. This was just some trapped out shit. Like I was 15.
Did you have to hide it?
Oh yeah. I hid it for a long time.
How long?
Like maybe 6 months.
Oh, that wasn't very long.
No.
How did they find out? Did you just
just one day just slipped up, just walk around the house without a shirt on?
I mean, that would be kind of obvious. Like you're like all bare skinned and then you just see like this little black thing on you.
Yeah. Well, one day as like I went shirtless, I grew up shirtless and I don't ever wear shirts hardly. And even to this day, a lot of times this is all you're going to get from me. But it was just all of a sudden, I bet they were suspicious because it was just like, there was always a shirt. Like, why haven't we seen him
without a shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would be, I just stayed in the yard when I was little and there was no shirt. Yeah. I would go to the store and put the shirt on when I walked in and take my shirt off as soon as I came out. I don't do that no more. I'm old, fat and shit. But
you don't look old.
Well, I'm not that old. I'm just 30.
30? I'm 25.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there.
Yeah. It gets worse, but I still think I'm young. So.
That's how I feel. But I mean, everybody at the shop calls me a baby, so.
Yeah. Well, it keeps going for everybody. That's what I'm in this group chat of people I play basketball with, and they always make fun of they say we're the old blah 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 blah. I messaged in there the other day. I was like, listen here, motherfuckers, y'all gonna be old real soon.
Yeah, and then whenever you're having aches and pains, don't come crying.
Yeah. So okay, so where did you go after the cover-ups? The cover-up shop.
If I'm not mistaken, I went to Texture Kind of Inc.
Okay, cool.
Went there, worked there for a little while.
About what year would this have been? No idea.
Mm-mm.
How old were you?
I was like, because I was a correctional officer for a year before I tattooed.
Where did you do that at? Was it like Telford?
Yeah.
Oh, how was that?
For almost a year. It was not great. I got jacked on a lot, wrote a lot of sexual misconduct cases.
Yeah.
Whenever I would go in, they'd be like, woo, which was like signifying like, oh shit, she's the police. You better watch out because she will write you up. I had a strict policy.
Yeah.
I just like, I mean, I was pretty, I say strict, but I was pretty lenient. Like, you know, if they're like fucking around with making like little speakers and stuff, whatever. But if they're in there like doing some shit that they know they're not supposed to be doing, like if I hear a phone or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I never found a phone on anybody, but they knew better than to like, I was the type that if you have enough sense to do something, have enough sense not to do it when I'm right there in front of you. If I'm right there in front of you, then you're going to get written up.
Yeah. That's like one of my top list of jobs I never do. That just seems like a job that you could get, like they could take advantage of you. Or
I was like 18 or 19 when I did that job.
People get caught, like you help an inmate one time and then you're kind of just like stuck. Yeah,
because then they
blackmail you.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy. No, that's pretty high up there on shit I don't want to do. So I bet that was rough.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it made you tougher though?
No. The reason I quit was because one of my inmates tried to commit suicide, and that was hard.
Yeah. Oh, you get attached to them, huh?
I mean,
in a way, like
kind of. I mean, in a way that like you see them all the time,
right.
And then like to know that like, because you have some that are like the class, like you have your class clowns, like the ones that are always acting up. I mean, there was one time where it was my birthday, and like one of them had found out that it was my birthday, so all of them in the pod got like stood up on tables. And they all just started screaming happy birthday for me. And it was like a song and like everyone was like in unison. And I've never had just like a group of people sing happy birthday of like that large amount. Like it was like 50, 60 men. And they're like big ass dudes, young, little looking teenagers. And they're all singing happy birthday. Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, this is actually probably the best moment that I've had up here because everything else is like doom and gloom and sad.
Yeah.
And then you see a lot of your coworkers, they end up like being bad cops and stuff. Like I've watched a couple of them get walked off and it just was not easy.
They probably smuggle stuff in.
Oh yeah. I accidentally took my phone in one time, not like on the actual floor because I told my lieutenant, I was like, hey, I have my phone in my pocket. They searched me and didn't even see it. And I was like, you know, I had it in my back pocket, literally. So I'm kind of a thick girl. So like my pants were on me pretty tight. So the fact that I had my phone in my back pocket, you could see the outline. You could see my phone clearly.
They search y'all too, huh?
Yes, they search us.
I never thought about that. That makes sense though. Yeah.
Because they don't want people taking stuff in.
Yeah. I was on TikTok yesterday and I was just watching, it was an open room, a pod, I guess. And there was like, they had a basket put up to the wall and they were playing basketball and somebody was on live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they sneak the phones in. So whenever an officer sneaks one in, I don't know how they did it because I was never the type that would do that. But I was offered, like the inmates will come up to you if they think that they can like manipulate you, and they'll show you like they will have like written out statements or like printed out forms that they got from the library of like their invoices and how much money they have in their account. And they say like, I will give you however much money if you will get this in for me. Like a phone up there, like maybe like a $20, $30, just like a track phone or something, they will spend some good money. But some of them will like, they get like the newest brand new iPhones and stuff, and they will pay a lot.
And they just hide it? They just hope they don't get caught?
Yeah, I mean,
most pods aren't cells though, right? They're just open, right?
So pods...
Or how does that work?
So like you have the actual cells that they're in, and then they have something called like a day room. So the day room is like where they have like little tables and stuff where they can sit down and they can chill and they can eat their food. They'll hang out. A lot of them will play like card games. They'll do all kinds of stuff. But I mean, a lot of the times they're just pretty chill. But they do have like the little walkway that's in front of where their cells are. And that's when they would get in trouble because you're not supposed to just loiter in front, because what that is usually people trying to pass on notes, kites, always like trying to pass on like actual stuff, like if it were drugs or, a lot of them would even do
tons of drugs. And that's crazy. And so all that does all that has to come in through the guards?
For the most part. I mean, they're with drones and stuff becoming more popular. I don't know.
People drop shit off with a drone.
I feel like it's possible because if you have...
That sounds cool.
I mean, there are guard towers though. I went in, like whenever we did training and stuff, we had to explore the whole entire prison. We went up into the towers and saw, but I mean, like they have guns and stuff. So if they ever saw something, I imagine they would shoot it down. But I wouldn't put it past people to have drones.
Flying in phones and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, they're doing it with Amazon packages now. Like, don't they have drones that are delivering them?
Yeah, I don't know if they do that here. That might be. I think that's like a city thing.
Big cities, yeah.
I can just imagine. Boy, I bet it's just a whole nother world in there. Some people will get out after doing a long time in prison and just go back.
Yeah, because it's like all they know.
Yeah.
Some of them, they won't even be able to live in the normal world. Like there's some people who've been in prison so long that they don't even know what cell phones are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of them that the only way that they know what's going on the outside, they don't have family. They just watch the news. And a lot of the times the inmates don't want to watch the news. They want to watch like a show or something. They don't want to have to sit there and listen to all the stuff that's going on in the world that's away from them.
Yeah. Who cares at that point, huh?
Yeah. Well, I will say I got to meet Bernie. So Telford, they have Bernie, and there's a movie about it. It's about this guy who killed a widow. And in the movie, it's portrayed by like Jack Black, I think, had like Matthew McConaughey and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was like a mortician, and he was... And
he's there? He's locked up there?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
He's like a celebrity prisoner, huh?
He actually had a lot of fan mail.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, people like, and when I say people, I mean lots of ladies like murder stuff.
I think it's just because it's romanticized. Like they have like a dark idea of things. So some of them just are very nonchalant about it, I guess. They're just like, oh, he's attractive. Like it seems like all cool and stuff until something actually happens that involves them.
Yeah, because
I feel like
never mind.
Like the women that went for like Ted Bundy and stuff. I feel like they were like really into him and stuff until he did some stuff.
Yeah,
but some of them are mass manipulators. Like they're really good at being charming.
Yeah, I had deep dived into. We're going to do an episode on cults here soon.
Oh yeah,
and there was some me and my buddy Chief, and dude,
if you ever want to talk cults, just let me know because I Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah.
There's the who are those people up in Utah? It's not like Mormon people, but
it's the I know you're talking about
because they have like 7 churches or something that are.
We were reading on the Charles Manson stuff.
Yeah,
that dude.
Yeah,
he didn't even have to kill nobody hardly. He had them so convinced they would just go do it for him. I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
And what the thing about him is he prophesied that there was going to be a race war, and then like a race war didn't happen, and so like that was like his most famous killing deal that he set up. He tried to pin it on the Black Panthers, and when the police showed up, like they didn't make the connection. They were just like, no.
Yeah, I remember because he have the women go into the house and like kill people.
There was a guy too, and there was 2 girls.
They ended up like writing it in blood on the wall.
Yeah, and the police like didn't even make the connection that he thought. So he went with them the next time.
Police are like in all these murder cases. It's really shown how bad the police work is.
Sometimes,
yeah,
it could be rough. Man, you just got when it comes to like master manipulators. There's people out there. There's people out here that can do it that don't realize like
that they're doing it.
Yeah, that they're doing it, or that they could do it at that level. So it's probably good. There's probably a lot of untapped cult leaders out there, thankfully.
Yeah,
that don't realize like that they're manipulating their sister. They don't realize that they could do some shit like that. I don't know. I wonder how it feels to be like in the middle of that, like at the heyday of like your cult's like booming and like all these people are worshiping you. I bet that's wild.
I mean, I bet it's like an ego, like a really big ego boost. But it's also kind of scary too.
Yeah. They always crash and burn. They never work. It always ends up like what was the one where they were barricaded in that place for like 50 or 60 days?
Oh yeah, when the police were like doing a shootout and stuff, and they had like a lot of ammunition.
They eventually just came in.
Yeah, they ended up because if I'm thinking of the same thing you're thinking about.
It's David Caruso?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Is it the one
Waco.
where they ended up going and like they had like a airstrip and they had some people come in and like they ended up like going and shooting the people?
Well, I know they went into the building. It was like barricaded. This was Waco. Yeah, that's what it was. This was Waco.
I think I'm thinking about Jonestown still.
Okay, that one too. That one's crazy. It's crazy. Like,
or the one that like...
Well, that was Jim Jones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's some... It's crazy that like you just don't... I don't know. You live your normal life and you don't realize that there's people out there with like the potential to do crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
Like you just wouldn't...
And then the people who... I mean, it's crazy that those people do it, but then it's crazy that these people are to the point where they are so gullible and like they don't have a meaning to their life that they will follow this person till the end of their life.
Yeah.
And there's actually something I was watching today. I don't know if you know who Vsauce is on YouTube, but he makes videos that are like scientific and stuff. And there's this video that he made that was talking about how people easily follow other people. So like if you have one person, so let's say that they tell you that the answer to a question is 3, but then everyone around you says 1. So you're going to say 1 more than likely because of the fact that everyone else said 1, even though you know the answer is 3.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was crazy because they did that on a lot of people. Like they did that and like a lot of people like questioned themselves and were just like, you know, I was told that this is the right answer, but why was everyone else saying 1? So instead of them like just saying the answer that they know is right, they would like be like, oh, the answer is 1. And then later on they'd be asked, why did you do that? And they're like, because I didn't want to stick out.
Yeah. Yeah, people's whole lives, like you think about like the Scientology and stuff.
That's crazy.
The people get born into it now because it's been a couple generations. And so you grow up as a kid, like that's the ones that get me because they have no chance of like, you have to just really wake up one day and be like, what the fuck is this shit? This is wild.
You have to get them while they're kids because if you don't, then they're going to grow up thinking that that's all that there is.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Scientology is wild. I don't know if you've ever like looked into like what they actually believe.
I've read, there's a guy, a YouTuber named Reckless Ben. I've watched some of his stuff and he's gone into like actual Scientology. And he was like, you know, I just had to steal my friend's PS4 to get some money so I can donate because they basically like
cost
a lot of money. Yeah. And like some people have actually gone and like gotten the books that you have to have to like go into Scientology. And like people are like selling them for super cheap on like eBay. I'm pretty sure you can get like one of them on Amazon for way cheaper.
They say it starts off like real believable. It's like almost like self-help type deal. Like it's like a course, I believe, and you pay for it. And then once you pass the course, you're able to become the teacher, and then people pay to get the course, and then you work your way up the ranks or whatever. But
it's like the more money that you do, the higher the rank is.
Yeah, imagine that. And then when you get to the top, then like the crazy stuff comes out, like the alien stuff, and because there's some really wild shit, but they don't teach you that at the beginning.
That's why a lot of people aren't liking Linkin Park's new singer, is because they say that she was into Scientology.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did see that they put a lady as the
new lead singer.
I haven't heard her. I mean,
she sounds pretty good. I mean, to me, I went in it without any bias. So like usually, you know, if you like a band, you're not going to want there to be a new singer.
Right.
And apparently she tried to do a cover of like some of the original Linkin Park songs. And it's just been like a really big speculation. But personally, like, you know, I love music and I feel like it's a form of art. So it's just really cool that, you know, she came in and apparently she can do like a 10-second scream like he could, like Chester could. So,
and how long is it? It feels like it's actually been a little bit now since he passed away. Do you know,
a few
like
years.
5-6 years now? Yeah, that's wild. Man, they had some hits too. They had some bangers, but they hadn't been making music, huh? Or I haven't heard no.
You know, because everyone was they were on the fence about it. They didn't know like if they should, if they shouldn't. And I'm pretty sure because they have re-sparked the whole Linkin Park band, like they've brought it back to life, that some of the original members have actually left because they just didn't know if that's like what Chester would want.
Right.
But it's just like, it's really like bittersweet because like, it's really cool that they're coming back. It does suck that Chester's gone. I'm pretty sure it's like his son and like the fact that they like brought the band back because he just thought that it should kind of be like die down.
Died with him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Alice in Chains a lot.
Yeah.
And like the new stuff, like I just can't get into like any of, I say new stuff, it's been like since 2010, but still.
I mean, if it still feels new to you.
Yeah, it's the original like Lane Staley. Like that shit's hard. Like,
well, I'm pretty excited. I got some tickets for me and my fiance to go and see Pucifer, Primus, and A Perfect Circle, and pretty excited about that because the lead singer of Teel, he actually created 2 of those bands.
oh wow, do you go to a lot of live music?
Here recently, I have been. I went to it started with Birds of a Feather, and I went and saw them. We went to 5D and I think Avenger, and it's like a little cattle like steakhouse place where they cook food, but they have really good live music there. And then from there, it kind of progressed. I've gone to see a few other artists. Like we went to go see Megadeth. We saw Megadeth. That was pretty dope. And then we also saw Mudvayne. I had never really listened to them before, but I really got into them because the singer, their vibe is kind of like Slipknot. Like they have like the face paint, like the masks and stuff. And they have like just like a really solid sound to them. And then some other artists I saw, I'm into like EDM music and kind of like techno-y.
Yeah, that's like the dance, like the...
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good rendition of that.
Like
that? Excision. So Excision is kind of like rave music, I guess. I don't know. Have you ever seen on TikTok, there was like a Shrek thing going around where it was like a Shrek visual and he would like come up and he would like do a little dance and he'd like breathe fire while the bass drops.
No.
Yeah.
I'll look it up though.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
It was actually really cool. Excision was really cool.
Yeah.
I've seen a few other artists as well.
Have you seen any AI music yet?
AI?
Have you heard any AI music?
Oh yeah. I've seen, because, you know, Justin, he usually would hear like a new Drake song or something and it was just AI. And it was like using Drake's voice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real tricky.
It's really creepy too. Like I remember when they first made the facial recognition stuff and somebody made it sound like Trump was going to bomb somebody.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, because like they're making it to where it will look like the individual, sound like them, and they're making it to where like the mouths move on time and stuff where it really does seem like a legit thing. But I did notice that they have something on Google now where it will debunk if it is AI or not.
Yeah, that's going to be needed.
I've been listening to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, yeah, I love
Joe Rogan Experience.
I've listened to every Joe Rogan episode for the past year.
The moon landing one. That's how I found out about the Google thing is because they were able to take the pictures from the moon landing and debunk it.
Debunk it, yeah. Yeah, I'm still on the fence about that. That dude he still seems a little kooky to me, but he did have some points that's just like...
He had some really good points. The radiation is what I can't get past.
Like the radiation belt?
Yeah.
I've talked to that. I had a scientist dude come on here and I was talking to him about it and he was on the fence about it, but...
And then the fact that they didn't even tell us that they shot a nuclear bomb into the sky to destroy the radiation belt.
Yeah, they tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it did anything.
Yeah.
But
if anything, it added more radiation.
Yeah, I didn't know about that until I heard that on that episode. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. The moon landing. The thing about the moon landing that gets me about how I think it would be so hard to fake it is that there were just so many people.
But that's what they were saying on Joe Rogan is that they couldn't tell the difference between a simulated flight and the real one. So all the people at the space station, it was just...
So you would think that even the people on the space station thought that they were... Yeah.
It was real, but to them it could have been like a simulation. Like I'm not saying that they didn't go into space. Like I do think that they went to space. I just don't think that they landed on the moon.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually watch the episode, but I've listened to it enough times now where I remember Joe Rogan saying something about like how there was a part of the landing that looked so fake.
When they left the moon, it looked really fake.
And also, like, how did they get that back? Like, so something I was talking to one of my clients about today is that whenever you pass through like that radiation field or that radiation belt that you were talking about, it destroys film. It destroys cameras. It destroys all kinds of like your mechanical stuff, and it affects people. Well, how was a camera left on the moon for them to be able to show, hey, this is our shuttle leaving the moon?
Yeah, I think the radiation stops though by the time you get to the moon.
But just going through that, if they're recovering that film from that camera that just took a picture of the shuttle leaving the moon, how did they bring it back?
Yeah, it's wild to me that they called them on the phone. like that Nixon was talking to him on the moon.
And that's the part that got me too, was in the podcast, it was talking about how, it's just like, hey, stop talking or start talking. Like, you remember what they were saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
And we're supposed to believe that our technology was that advanced back then.
It's kind of hard to believe, but there's a lot of people that are really behind the moon shit. So we're in a race with Russia. It makes sense. It makes sense to fake it.
But even Russia said that they didn't have anybody on the moon. Russia said that they sent a shuttle unmanned to the moon.
And there's no evidence of us making it there?
I have no idea. See, that's the thing, though. That's why I can't.
Do you like a lot of conspiracy theories?
I love conspiracy theories.
Is that one of your favorites, or are you?
It's definitely something that I will talk to somebody about, but a lot of people aren't open-minded enough to like discuss it because they're just like, no, we did it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
I think it's sketchy for sure. Him going through the deal where they were showing about the window and how they put the black part around the window to make it look like they were further away from the earth. Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast and you're watching on YouTube, if you could take just a few seconds to go hit that subscribe button, it really does help. That'll help notify you when we drop new videos. And we need all the subscribers we can get so we can keep bringing you content every week. Now back to the show.
And then that guy also being like a movie director and stuff, and like to where he's created scenes that are similar to that.
Yeah, it's sketchy.
And the fact that everything looks like how it does now, like as far as movies go, and we're supposed to believe that back then, like even the flag, the way the flag moved.
Yeah, the flag moving is strange.
It's so strange because there's
a lot of strange, but
really weird.
I'm on the fence. I don't know.
I don't either. I'm definitely going more towards the no side of it, but
I think they assassinated Kennedy. I think they lied about a bunch of shit. I think,
they literally did the MK Ultra.
Yeah, I've learned
the
a lot
acid.
about MK Ultra for sure.
They actually, there was something that I was listening to about how the way that they would try to mind control people, they can like, wait, what was it? Was it Operation Paperclip or something?
Paperclip is when they brought all the people from Germany over. They took all the top scientists from Germany after we won in World War II, and we used them to make the bombs. Like,
there was something. Okay, so there was something that they were going to do where they were going to. I don't remember who said it, or like, because I don't like to quote things if I don't know 100%.
Right.
So there was somebody that was a higher up official that wanted to get confirmation from the president that he could go and kill a bunch of Cuban soldiers.
Oh.
And then they didn't say, like, or was it that they were going to kill their own people and say that the Cuban soldiers did? No, they said that they were going to kill their own people and then say the Cuban soldiers did it to start something between them.
Yeah, that may have been one of them. Hell, that's probably why we fought one of these wars. We're notorious about fighting wars for shitty reasons.
For shitty reason, and then we don't even learn about the real shit in history.
Yeah, till later, and then people call you conspiracy theorists. But
yeah,
no, I think the last time we may have actually been a good guy in the fight is probably like World War II, like where we kind of stepped in and we did get rid of some bad people. But I think a lot of the shit afterwards is, and like even Eisenhower warned him, like as he was getting done being president, he warned us about like the military industrial complex. He was like, this will grow out of control more than likely. And now we spend trillions on the military. And so it actually benefits us to go to war, which is wild. And so we always...
The JFK thing that you were talking about, JFK said something about how he had seen a UFO one time.
I believe it.
And he said that he wanted to get all the documents that they have away from like our eyes. And he wanted to unseal all the documents so the people could actually read it and see it for themselves. And then he ended up getting assassinated not long after that.
Yeah, I know he wanted to denuclearize too, and they didn't like that, which seems like what we should do. But
I mean, if we do that, it's kind of scary because then the people who are in power, like let's say like Russia.
Yeah, that's why we can't.
Yeah, and that's the part that's really scary because we have enough nuclear warfare on this planet to just completely destroy it. And that's scary.
There's this lady named Annabelle something. She's been on Sean Ryan, Lex Fridman, Joe Rogan. Anyway, she wrote this book about, she figured out all the nuclear protocols and stuff. So like the one takeaway I learned from it, if North Korea shoots one at us, you know how many we're going to shoot back?
A lot.
I think it's like 88 we're going to shoot back.
See, that's been an anxiety thing for me, is like the fact that nuclear war could happen. So I had to look into it. And there's actual, by the time they send over a missile, regardless if it's underwater, if it's like over the top, we have so many sensors and things that are reading, like we have satellites and stuff that are constantly picking it up. So if something is coming at us, we're going to be able to send more, but we also have some that will be able to be shot up in the sky and shoot what they're shooting at us out of the sky, depending on the size.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not sure that we can actually shoot them all down though. So like if somebody shot at us, we probably still would get hit.
Yeah, we
which
would.
is sad. I think if one person shoots, everyone shoots is my understanding. And that is a really scary thing. And that's something that stresses me out a little bit sometimes. So I have to like dial it back and I just say, hey, you know what it is? You know, it is what it is. They blow this bitch up.
Yeah.
If they blow this bitch up, they blow it up. One thing's for sure, if they start shooting them, it ain't shit we can do about it.
Yeah.
So,
and then I feel like even if you were in a bunker that was super far down, I feel like you would not only be trapped down there for a long time, but then you have to think about like the air filtration system that you have. I mean, you're going to have some really high-tech advanced stuff to keep you from the radiation from the aftermath of it, because there are so many places out there that are still radioactive to where people can't even step foot, because if they do, the rads will get them.
I think from my understanding, if they start shooting them, I don't think bunkers are they're going to blow the whole shit up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it creates a crater that could be miles deep.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
There's no way.
Have you another thing to stress about, if you don't have enough to stress about already, is like asteroids and stuff.
I've definitely thought about that.
It's not something that we can stop yet. We're working on redirecting them. That's like some deal that NASA's working on.
It's also hard for me to believe that an asteroid hasn't like actually hit us yet. So like I know with the dinosaurs, you know, obviously the meteor came, wiped all of the dinosaurs out.
We get hit. It's just they break up in the atmosphere though.
Exactly.
But here's the thing though. I don't know how much you study into this, but the reason why we don't get smacked is because of Jupiter. So Jupiter's this big ass planet that's between us and a lot of where the bullshit's coming from. And so it catches a lot of the shit for us. And the moon catches some shit. So
that makes me wonder, like, is there multiple ways that, like, is there only one solid motion in space? Like, is it just one way that it goes, or does it come from all over?
Well,
so if Jupiter is the one that's like keeping it from hitting us, then what about from the other side? Or is it all just go in one way? Like, I've never heard
everything. Now you've got me thinking, hell, everything goes in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
The sun's in the middle. The planets are moving. I'm assuming the asteroids are
they being drawn in from the...
They got to be by the sun unless you get close enough to one of the planets. And then if you get too close to the planets, then you hit their gravity. Yeah. So the stuff is getting drawn into the sun. You get too close to Jupiter, you get into its gravity, it draws it in, and it takes the hit. Yeah.
See, that shit right there is like what blows my mind, is the fact that all these planets are completely aligned in the way that they are, and they don't pull each other in and destroy each other.
It's wild. In fact, it just comes down to, because a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about like how old the Earth is, how old the universe is, what started the universe. You know,
and then there are galaxies that are completely identical to our very own.
Yeah, but it's like all we can do is just see them with fancy telescopes and shit. But
how do they do that if they can't even look at the bottom of the ocean?
Pressure.
That's just crazy.
To me, my understanding of why the ocean's so difficult is the pressure. Because like it's easier to go out in space
because it stays the same.
Yeah.
It's like it's the exact same. Once you get to a certain level, that's it. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Once you go down to like them dumbass people that want to go look at the Titanic.
Oh my God, the ones that blew up.
Yes. Yes, I said it right the first time. Now they may have had the best intentions, but them some dumbass people to get in that damn can.
Even the son didn't want to do it, of that billionaire.
Yeah, that is sad. It really is sad. But at the same time, that's some dumbass shit.
Oh, no. I mean, there's conspiracies on that, too. Like, some people were trying to say that they just wanted to get off the grid. But then they, like, apparently found, like, I don't know, because of the amount of pressure that was down there. And they were inside of what you said was like a tin can, basically.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it literally imploded them.
Yeah, just blew up.
There was nothing left of them.
Yeah, but they were warned.
They were warned. And that's why people are like, I don't know if it actually was them on it or like what, because people were trying to say that they were trying to, like, some speculation is that they were trying to get off grid. Like they wanted to get off the map. So by going down in this tin can doing something really dumb and stupid. They died, but some people think that they're still alive.
Maybe if they like swap the submarine out.
That's what they were kind of. That's kind of what they were saying. Yeah.
You never know. Yeah. My thing is lately, it's like
we weren't there to see it.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't put it past them. That's kind of been my mindset for a lot of this shit. Somebody hit me with a conspiracy theory. I said, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, because we don't know. And I mean, you can read all the documents, you can look at everything. There's always going to be a side to something. So that's why whenever I talk about something, I usually talk about it with confidence. But if I am proven wrong or if I hear something else, I'm not opposed to changing my idea.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to. There's people that hang on to some shit too, and that's frustrating.
So you want to talk about ghosts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did we finish up talking about tattoos? Where are you at now?
I'm at Black Pine. Okay, so,
awesome.
Oh, wow. We really just...
Yeah, that's that easy.
Do you have ADHD too?
Oh, yeah, bad, dude.
Oh, yeah, bro. Okay, that makes sense why you're a podcaster.
Yeah,
me too.
I just follow every trail too.
So I started at Re-Inked, which was the place in Omaha. Worked at Texture Kind of Ink for a little while. Quit there. Went to Body of Art. Jessica, who you've had on the podcast, she was actually the one who told me to come to Body of Art. Worked there for a little while. And then there was just like some stuff that had gone down at the other shops that I was at. And I just figured that it wasn't like in my best interest to stay there any longer. So now I'm at Black Pines and I've been there for...
That seems to be the spot.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really nice. I mean, like everybody there, we flow together pretty well.
Yeah.
As far as like energies and stuff. And like some of us are a little crazier than others, but we like... Our vibes are...
I want to get... what's his name? Quinn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get him on here.
Yeah, Joaquin is pretty dope.
Yeah, I bet I could get him. Yeah.
People call him Quinn, Keen, Joaquin.
Yeah, I've tried to keep up with all this stuff. I had, do you know Caleb McCones? Was you ever at Body Art with him?
No, but I've heard about him.
Yeah, he did a lot of mine. I was trading him studio time for tattoos.
I was about to say, wasn't he like a SoundCloud rapper?
Yeah. I traded him, dude, for hours. I would just sit there and hit the space bar, and he did my hands and my fingers and my stomach and my... Dude, I need to find someone to trade with.
I mean, that's pretty dope.
That was the shit. Trading for them.
Yeah.
Not
bartering.
Yes. Yeah. That was
because like some people, like I've seen people who, there was somebody who I had tattooed at Re-Inked and they gave me a cigar as a tip. A cigar.
Yeah.
Like, do I look like I smoke cigars? But I thought it was dope because it came in like this package and stuff. It looked really official. I was like, holy crap. Look at this cigar.
Decorations. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude, trading for them. So you went to there and you end up at Black Pines.
Yeah, I've been there for 2.5, almost 3 years, I think.
Awesome.
So I've been tattooing about like 4.5 years, but the rest of the time it's just been.
So when did you get into the ghost stuff?
I've always been into the paranormal ever since I was younger. I remember
something happen to you, or did you, or it was just something you were interested in?
I mean, you know, I grew up watching like Ghost Adventures and stuff, and growing up, I speculated. I was like really scared of like, you know, I remember sitting in the living room with my grandma, and my grandma was mean, but I used to, bro, she knew that. Have you ever watched Ghost Adventures?
I don't even know what that is.
So Ghost Adventures, there's this guy named like Zach Baggins, something like that. And he's like the guy who's like the main...
Oh, he'd be on TV chasing those. Okay.
Yeah, like the travel center, travel channel.
I feel like I've seen it. My grandma watched... Okay, yeah, my grandma watched this shit.
Yeah, and it's
Grandmas love that shit.
I don't know, but there was like this hand that was like cut off and it would like do this.
Oh, no.
As like one of the little screensavers or whatever for it. Like it would be like when we return or whatever. And there was like this really loud, high-pitched noise that would play. And I remember it scared the shit out of me when I would like run down the hallway. Well, my grandma, like, I don't know if she's alive. We don't really talk anymore. But she was like very into the paranormal. And she would say like she'd have premonitions and stuff.
Oh, shit.
I didn't believe it because she's just she's
my grandma would tell
lady.
me that she can smell her ex-husband sometimes.
That right there is pretty true, though. So my grandma, my good grandma, she passed away in January of this year.
Good grandma, which both my grandmas were good, but she's so nice.
Yeah, my grandma Betty was super nice. She passed away this year in January, and I've had definitely some weird things that have happened. Like I will randomly smell cigarette smoke sometimes. There was like this, like she didn't wear a lot of perfume, but she would like cook, and there was like a specific smell whenever you go into our old house. and it would smell like cigarettes, old house, and like food. And it sounds like a gross mixture, but it was like the most comforting thing ever to walk in.
Yeah.
And sometimes like she would appear in my dreams and stuff. Like before she passed away, I had this dream of her, and it was the most craziest thing. It felt like she came to tell me goodbye, and that really like got me so good, because I woke up and I was crying, and I like looked at my fiance and I was like, I just had this dream about my grandma, and then like not even a month or two later she passed away. But it was like in my dream she was saying that like I wanted to give her a hug
before she passed. Wow, that's creepy.
It was before she had passed away, and I tried to give her a hug in my dream, and she said she couldn't. She had to go, but she told me that she loved me, and for some reason it looked like we were inside of like a Whole Foods. But it was more like a Holy Foods, because when she opened that door, it was like a bright white light and she walked into it.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it was kind of an unexpected way that she passed. But it was tough.
I had a dream. My mom died in our house. Terrible tragedy. And I had a dream that night, like that morning, like right before I woke up. And it was the scariest dream I've ever had in my life. And then I wake up to like my brother screaming. Like there's some dark shit. But I was like that's always been like in the back of my head when I think about that. I'm like, what was that like super freaky ass dream, as like something so crazy was happening?
I definitely believe in something, because here recently, I don't know what it is, but a lot of the times whenever I say someone's name, they just appear. Like not like an apparition, but like, you know, I was working at the Burn Run Rally. I don't know exactly how it's, but it was in Jefferson, Texas. And I was working at Caddo Cove, which is like, he's like a smoke shop, but also like a metaphysical shop. I worked and did like flash tattoos there during this biker event. And I swear every time I said somebody's name, that person would walk through the door. And I was like, what the hell?
Oh, no.
It was like perfect timing,
Got
though.
some damn magic going on and shit.
I know that's how it feels, but no, for real. Like whenever I got started in like ghost hunting and stuff, I've always watched those shows. I was always speculative. Like I watched BuzzFeed Unsolved, Supernatural. There's a guy named Ryan and Shane. Shane's like the skeptic. Ryan's the one who's like really into it. Started watching like Paranormal Nightmare, Paranormal Files. I've been watching it all. And, you know, speaking of my grandma again, we have a ring light in our room, and it'll turn on. It turned on one day, and it's been doing it every now and again. And I looked at my fiance and I was laughing, because like we were talking about something really stupid, and we were laughing, having a good time. And then the ring light turned on. I was like, Grandma, if that's you, turn the ring light off. Okay, went off. I looked at my fiance and I was like, bullshit. I was like, Grandma, if that's you, turn the ring light back on. It came back on. I looked at her. I was speechless. And I was like, Grandma, if that's you, turn it off. And I'll believe it's you, and I'm going to cry. And then it turned off, and I just started crying right away, because I was just like, this is the craziest crap that's ever happened. And then like when we were at the Caddo Cove, when me and one of my clients, I had the ring light with me, but I wasn't using it because it wasn't bright enough. We were talking about blunts, and it turned on. I was like, okay, Grandma, like calm down.
Yeah,
like
she got excited.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. We stayed at my so my grandparents died, and my grandmother died in her house. And it was like a month later, and they were all the kids had come out. So my mom stayed in town her whole life, and their parents lived there. And then but she has brothers and sisters, and they all scattered out. So everybody came back down, and they all had hotels and stuff, but they were fixing up the house to sell it or whatever. Me and my brother, we're like, okay, can we stay the night here? This would be fun, you know. I think he was like, I want to say he was like 14. That had made me about 10. And we were watching Dodgeball. I remember this. We were watching Dodgeball in the living room. He had his Xbox.
Like the funny movie?
And we had it like on DVD or whatever. And we were sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden the water cut on in the bathroom in the far side of the house. And it's just me and my brother there. And I was like, okay, that was weird. And so we went and turned it off, and we went back to watching the movie. And the whole movie goes on. We get to the very end of the movie, and it cut back on again. And I was like, all right. So that's when we start calling like, hey, Mama, we finna come home. Like this is, and so, and then we would get this, she used to drink Slim Fast. Like there's a distinct smell, and like we could smell it. Like
so Slim Fast, is that like those,
it's like the milk,
drinks?
Yeah, like that's all she would basically, like she didn't eat very much.
It's like protein?
Basically, yeah. And I guess she was like replacing that as meals, like as she was getting closer to, because she was real sick and stuff. But it was like, then we smelt that, and I was like, all right, we got to go. So we got there. Then Then when there was this mean ass cat they had, and we called it Spice Cat. And this cat was mean as fuck. And it was a calico cat. Real pretty, just like, you don't see very many of those. And we got rid of the cat after they passed. Well, somebody broke into the house. And this was after that other deal that happened there. And me and my mom and my brother went there to check on the house or something. Realized that the back door was broke. We go in, and underneath their bed upstairs is the cat that looks it's a calico cat. Now I don't know what happened to the other cat.
That cat was like the sweetest thing.
No, this cat was mean as fuck too. We had to put this cat in like a cage. We had to like wrestle this motherfucker. But a mean calico cat is back in this house under their bed where it used to sleep at.
I mean, I don't know, man.
That's wild, ain't it?
Yeah, no. I mean, that sounds like that was the cat.
Yeah.
That's pretty
crazy. I don't know, man. I'm always torn because there's like a logical side of my brain. It's like there's no such thing as this shit, and then there's other sides like a more realistic side. Almost of me says like there's got to be more than what we see. And I wonder. I
feel like the reason that people are so afraid of like the idea of spirits is because of religion. So if you are a very religious person, you're not going to want to believe that spirits just hang around, because if they're just hanging around, that means that they didn't go anywhere else. They're still here. Mm-hmm. So if for someone to come to terms with something like that would also mean that they'd be going against the religion that they believe in. So like if we were to discuss Christianity, which usually like religions are very intense subjects, but like I feel like as a Christian person, you wouldn't want to believe that your loved one is still here, because that means that they didn't ascend to heaven nor descend to hell.
No.
So it means that they're still here on this plane, just in a different way, like I just feel like it's so odd, but like growing up, I was a kid that had so many deja vu dreams. Like I would go to school and it would feel like I would be able to tell a future, because I would literally have a dream about an event that would happen. And I thought that everybody had those dreams. But when I would go to school, people always thought it was so weird. So like I would get called names and stuff, but I would go to school and it would be like the dumbest shit too. Like I would be able to tell somebody like what we were going to be having for lunch that day. And like I was at an age where I didn't read like super great, I couldn't just be like, like this menu said that we're having chicken nuggets. I would just be like, no, I'm having chicken nuggets. And I would like tell my friend, I'd be like, and this person's going to eat this, and this person's going to eat this. And like, they would eat it. And like, it was like the dumbest stuff. But like over time, like I've been getting my deja vu dreams back. And what I like to think of is like, if I'm having a deja vu dream, that means I'm exactly where I need to be.
Because it's telling you something.
Yeah, but it's just so weird because sometimes in the dreams, it'll be like a completely different like perspective. Like it will be where I am, but then something really drastic will happen that isn't even possible in this life. And that's how I know it's a dream. But it's like, it almost feels like I'm lucid dreaming, but about my life. So it's just so weird.
Wish my dreams would tell me what's going to happen. I'm always like in my underwear, embarrassed or something, or fucking showing up somewhere I ain't supposed to be.
I have dreams where I'm underwater and I'm trying to punch.
Oh, no.
No, like I have dreams where like...
I don't dream like that. That seems scary as shit.
It's scary because like it's like I'm in the ocean, but it's like I'm at the bottom.
You fall before and woke up in a dream?
Yes. And like...
That's freaky.
Like it's like you jump.
Yeah.
And like it feels like your body like levitated off the bed for a second, and then it's like you fall down on the bed. That shit is scary. That's like light as a feather, stiff as a board, but like in your dream.
Yeah, dreams are weird. I've thought a lot about dreams. It's like...
They're actually doing a neuroscience study right now, like using MRIs and stuff. And they're trying to figure out if they can create like that Vsauce guy I was telling you about.
So I've heard that they can do some
make images.
Yeah, make images. Yeah, that's crazy. Which our brain is doing something at nighttime that's wild. Like it's crazy that our brain comes up with these. Sometimes like you. I mean, I guess you can't. Can you dream of someone you've never seen before?
They're saying that you can't. That? They're saying that your brain cannot create something that didn't exist.
Right.
So hear me out. This is why it's hard for me to not believe in like mythology and other stuff. Because how is it that we create things that we've never seen? Like how is someone able to come up with something that's so sci-fi-esque? Like if our brains can't even create in our dreams a person that we've never seen before in our life, then how do we come up with these creatures and these monsters and stuff? Like, how is it that like people believe also like in angels and demons, but then they can't believe in like a unicorn. Or like biblically accurate angels, they have a lot of eyes and they're like really balls of eyes.
That's really scary.
But like then they can't believe that there was a dragon when we have like Komodo dragons. Yeah.
Yeah. Dragons are cool. Do you watch any House of Dragon or Game of Thrones or anything like that?
I started Game of Thrones. There was way too much sex in the first like little bit of it. It was a lot. So I was like, ooh. And then there was like incest and I was like, ooh, this is... But then, it died out a little bit in the second season. So it started to really get into like the plot and everything. But I haven't like watched it in like the last couple of years. But everyone's been telling me I need to watch the House of Dragons.
Yeah, it's a lot of sex and incest and stuff. And what's crazy is I know that show...
I feel like that's the medieval times though. Like that Renaissance era stuff is like, that's
They were doing that. They would get with their cousins and whatnot to keep bloodlines.
Yeah, because I wanted to keep them pure. So they had to do family. Like that's why brothers and sisters and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to like go there, but like Hitler, he was with his cousin. Not that he was like any royalty or anything, obviously, fuck him. But like, what was he doing?
Yeah. It's some wild shit out there. I don't know. People, I don't know. Man, the capabilities of people. I know we talked about that earlier, but it's just wild that some people possess this fucking... I don't know. So do you believe... This is a good time to ask that. Do you believe in like demons and stuff or...
I do.
Yeah.
I mean like angels and demons I do believe in. Like I do believe that there are positive and negatives. I do feel like, everyone wants to get rid of all the demons, but I feel like there has to be a balance. I do believe in that. Like I believe there has to be like a good and bad balance because I don't know, it's just everything, like there's always a yin to a yang. So if you don't have angels, you don't have demons, but if you have angels, you have demons. Demons, I don't know what they would look like. Yeah. I mean, obviously I would want to say that like the murderers and stuff out there are demons. Like I don't think of...
You think they're possessed or that they're actually...
Maybe possessed. Maybe that's my thought of just like negative people. Like they are possessed by something. Yeah. But I mean, if you want to talk about like exorcisms and like actual possessions.
Yeah, I've read on some exorcisms.
They're pretty insane. Like how they go from being like this really petite, like calm little girl to like, I mean, yeah, speaking Latin, literally contorting their body.
You probably watch a bunch of scary movies, don't you? I don't do that. Like I
love scary movies.
Like
Conjuring, Insidious. I've watched The Haunting of Connecticut.
I think deep down I'm a little scared, so I don't watch like.
When I was younger, I didn't like to watch them because I feel like whenever you're afraid, you have the possibility of conjuring something up. Like,
oh no, yeah, let me not be afraid then.
No, I'm like, it's just whenever you're fearful of something, it's usually when stuff happens. Like I've noticed that.
You're like opening the door for it?
Kind of. Like it's not like you're just inviting it, but like if you're like in a bad mood or something, have you ever realized that you'll just be in a pissy mood and then something bad will happen? And it's not like the cause of your bad mood, but you're already in this bad mood. Something else happens. It's just like the universe is testing you. I feel like that's how it is when you watch a scary movie. Like if you watch a scary movie, you get so scared because like you feel it. And if you feel something, I feel like you have the potential to manifest an energy. Not like a demon or anything, but I do feel like sometimes whenever I feel my grandma, it feels like I manifest her. Like it feels like she's here with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like if I'll think really hard about somebody that I've lost, or if I just think about something in general, like I just feel like we have a very strong, powerful mind. And I feel like a lot of people don't really realize that, because if you ever think like, I'm really hungry, and then your friend calls you up and then they're just like, hey bro, you want to go get a bite to eat? Or like, I'm going to come over. Do you want something?
Yeah, it does happen like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Or like I would literally
like synchronicities.
Say, yeah, like, synchronicity.
Yeah.
So it's like,
there's lots of people, like there's tons and tons and tons of people that have had like synchronicity type stories. It is
like, I was like thinking that I needed some money because like, it hasn't been slow at work or anything, but I've been taking time off to go and enjoy like little things. And, I was thinking about like, I need some money. And then all of a sudden I come back to work and it's like, I mean, this is also probably my hard work, like paying off and stuff, but It's just been nonstop, like to the point where I've been accidentally double booking myself. And I'm just like, holy crap. Like, wow, this is just like an influx of money. And then also it's realizing the shit that you already have to be grateful for it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to a guy about like gratitude and all that stuff the other day. So on the, do you think that it's almost like another realm or like dimension or that we can't see with like, or that, so like, I've heard people talk about our brain maybe filtering in what we consider reality. We have like our senses or whatever, but there definitely could be things outside of our senses, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done acid before.
How was that?
And I mean, I know that sounds really random, but like,
no, that's people have attributed that to like maybe seeing some.
I saw shadow people.
Shadow people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah, I was out in a field and it was at night. It was raining. There was a big bonfire. I'd done acid and I remember looking out towards the trees and it wasn't like normal. It wasn't like normal people. It was like tall, lanky figures that were completely black, but they didn't scare me. But they were like...
That was the homies?
No, I mean, they were just walking. They were just like literally walking. Like it looked like they were just moving.
You did acid in a field?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, I guess.
There were Mewtwo.
Yeah.
The Pokemon.
Oh, Mewtwo's. Oh, no. I had a guy on here talking about doing ayahuasca. And then another guy talking about doing mushrooms and acid or DMT, I think.
Yeah.
And
that's what's released in the brain whenever we pass away.
Yeah, yeah. I've listened to a lot of like Joe Rogan. They talk a lot about DMT and stuff on there. That's some wild stuff going on.
I would love to try it. I just like I like hallucinogenics, but I don't like them in a sense where I want to abuse them. I do feel like to some degree they could be like a metaphysical tool for people who have like problems or that need, like there are even people that like do ketamine and stuff like in a lab, like under doctor prescription. And, it really helps them with their traumas and stuff.
Yeah, I like hearing people talk about them, but I wouldn't do no hallucinogens because I'm a big scaredy cat. I already know, like, I don't do well with weed. I already know.
I feel like you have to learn to let go.
I couldn't. I don't.
That's the problem where people would have bad trips is because they're so like, if you do acid, right, we'll be looking at each other, but then it'll start to move. Like everything around you looks like it's moving.
I'm gonna freak out.
Exactly. That's why you'd have a bad trip. That's why usually they say you have to create a good environment because it's not just about the tripping. Like you really could use it in a way to heal yourself because if you go in it with a specific idea of something that is traumatic for you, something that is hurting, like a deep part of yourself that's hurt, if you go in with the intention to try to heal that spot or just try to find answers within yourself, doing something like that will open up. It's almost like, this is why people will talk about your third eye and stuff, because it makes you see things that you wouldn't see before. Like it's like, I was doing acid and I was looking at one of my friends and I didn't like what I saw. Not because I thought that she looked ugly or anything. Like I think that she's a beautiful individual, but like, I could see like her flaws very out in the open. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw the flaws in myself too. So, I mean, like whenever you do that, you have to be prepared to face like really hard realizations.
I've heard people do like psychedelics and come off of other drugs.
There are people that will do like ketamine or ayahuasca or is it peyote?
Yeah, peyote. My buddy did ayahuasca and quit drinking.
Yeah. They'll stop doing
pain pills.
Yeah, they'll also get off like their antidepressants and stuff, which doesn't sound like a really good idea. But I mean, sometimes it will be so life-changing for them that it will change their whole entire mindset of life.
Yeah. I guess if I ever got down bad enough, I would be willing to try it. But
I do feel like there are other dimensions, though.
Yeah.
100%.
I've been able to make some changes and get my life back on track. I got off track for a little bit for sure and was in a pretty bad spot, but made some physical changes and ate a little better, stopped drinking and really started exercising a good bit. And that was good for me. So it's like...
Yeah, that'll make the best. Like I started running in the morning. There's a trail that... I live in Linden. So that's like...
You travel here every day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I do. And they just created I believe her name is Amy Daniels, if I'm not mistaken. She created a nature trail in Linden. And it's like a 2-mile trail that they created for people to ride their mountain bikes or to go run on. And for a little while, I was running it every morning and it made me feel really good.
Yeah, exercise, that shit. Because I think our mind and body are more one thing than, we get the feeling like it's some separate shit happening sometimes, but we really are just one fucking thing, unless our brain is an alien. You ever heard that theory? That our brain is an alien?
No.
And that our bodies are just a vessel for
I gotta tell you, bro, I have been stuck on one subject today.
What's that?
Cryogenic freezing.
Yeah?
There is...
Has it ever actually been done?
Yes. Okay, so there's this place. I can't remember what it's called. I have been saying it. It's like, oh shit, I wish I knew what it was called.
And that's freezing yourself in hopes to wake up and...
So what their objective is, I think it's like Alcor or something. It's an actual thing that is in Arizona. They've had it for over 50 years now. What they do is people, like there's a little girl that's in it too. But they have like over 1,000 people that are on a roster right now. They call them their patients. But you're not a patient until you are frozen. So what they do is they clinically declare you deceased and legally. And then they put you in an ice bath. And then they have this electronic thumper on your chest that gets your heart beating again. But because you're cold, it is a lot slower. So they have these cylinders that they'll put you in. So it depends on if you want to be like a neuro patient or if you want to be like a full body patient. If you're a full body patient, what it is like if you do have like a disease or something, if you have cancer, if you have a terminal illness that they don't exactly have a way to fix,
they're hoping
like
to wake you up later and
yes, and fix you.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that sounds like some sci-fi shit.
It does. And
they're doing this already?
Yes. It's been around for over 50 years.
I look this up. Where would be the...
You just go on, honestly, I went on YouTube and I was looking up like just Alcor. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Yeah, I want to look at that.
But this lady was just really like, yeah, my husband Fred is in the cylinder right here. But it's not just your full body. The neuro patients, it's just their head. Just their head.
So just the head?
Just the head.
And
so
what's the hope of that?
So the lady who actually, the one who said that her husband Fred was in it, her mother-in-law and father-in-law are also in it. But they are hoping that whenever they come back, that their bodies can be made out of nanobots.
Oh, wow.
So they're hoping that they can...
Put them on like a Tesla robot or something?
No, they're actually hoping that they can create a new version of themselves.
Oh.
But there was also a neuroscientist who says that they have tried to do that with like cats and dogs, and they've tried to like cryogenically freeze them, and it didn't work. And they said that he said that he doesn't see it working. So he said that he feels like there's going to be a gruesome fate for these people.
Just a bunch of heads and freezers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dark.
Yeah. I mean, they are put in like a nitrous gas that's like negative 100 and something degrees Celsius, which is way more in Fahrenheit. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I didn't know they was doing that.
Yeah, I just found out about it and like I've been obsessed about it. Like whenever I find out something really interesting, I hyperfixate on it.
Yeah.
But that's just crazy to me because I just cannot believe that they are doing that.
Well, even if imagine, so there was an episode on Star Trek of this. I'm kind of nerdy. I get into some shit like that.
No, I think Justin was telling me about it too.
There's an episode on Star Trek where they did that. And these people were from the 50s. And they woke up they were on this different planet. And they ended up on the Enterprise, the ship. And they woke up.
Makes me think of Futurama.
Yeah, and everybody was, yeah, that too. And everybody, it was like, it was cool that they survived, but at the same time, it was also like, imagine how traumatic that's going to be, even if they get fixed one day.
It's almost like how we were talking about in prison.
Yeah,
like these
coming
people,
out, it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Except like on steroids, like.
They're hoping that they're going to be able to be in there for hundreds to thousands of years. Because they're hoping that within the next 50 years that we're going to have the technology to do it. But I mean, we do have a lot of technology. Like another video I watched was they are taking roaches, like cockroaches. They're cutting off their antennas, putting cables inside their antennas because the way that cockroaches work are their antennas help them to determine like what is on what side. It's almost like a cat with whiskers. Well, they are attaching these little robo packs to these roaches and they're able to electronically control where the roach goes by sending an electromagnetic wave to make the roach think that something's either on the left or right side of it. and it will turn.
Oh, like scaring them to turn, basically, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like shocking them. But they're using it in a way where people who are paralyzed, they think about moving their hand. They watch a video of moving their hand, and then
it's like Neuralink.
Yeah, they have those things on their heads, and they have like microchips in their heads that send the electronic signal like, hey, do this. Yeah. And they're starting to be able to move their hands and do things that they weren't able to do.
Did you see the episode of Rogan where they had the guy on there, the first positive, but they fixed that dude to an extent. Like, he's still in a wheelchair and shit, but he can play video games. He can move a cursor with like his mind, basically. And it's all like, he has like this little twitch he had left in one of his hands that he could still move. And then that's how they've trained it. So he thinks about moving, like, I think it's like his thumb, I think maybe. And I think it's like, it's
almost like a TENS unit. The way that because I think that's what they did was like they took the idea of a TENS unit because they said that everything we do, whenever we're thinking, our neurons are signaling off like electronic waves. And that's how we like move. Like, we don't think about it, but whenever you are without that sense, then you're not going to think like, move your hand.
Right. They say he's going to be better at video games than people because he's going to get rid of the delay time. Like, a normal person playing will have to send the message from their brain to their thumb.
But while he's doing it.
Yeah. The message will be sent like immediately. There will be like hardly any delay.
That's crazy.
So he'll be like better at video. Like, if they keep working on him, he'll be better at video games than other people. That's wild.
I can't believe how much they've progressed.
There's a lot of people that's like really opposed to like chips in your head. And I get it.
But I mean, okay, so another thing that I saw, someone put this in a really different perspective for me. I don't want to be one of the people who are cryogenically frozen. On top of it costing like $80,000 to $200,000, I just feel like when it's our time to go, it's our time to go. But then you have to think, however many years ago, people weren't living but until like 20 to 30 years old.
Yeah.
We technically are already like living like we don't want to die because we have antibiotics, we have shots, we have all these medications that didn't exist before. We have had technology come into our lives and make it easier for us. Like, we have cars, we have cell phones, like we already, like, just because we don't have microchips in our brains, I mean, we basically have them in our hands. Like,
yeah, we don't ever put the phone down.
Yeah, you got to go shit or something. I mean, you're going to have your phone. I saw a TikTok today that was like a girl that whenever she sat down on the toilet and she realized that she forgot her phone, it's like she turned into this Amish woman and she's like writing a note to her friends. And I was like, oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, I haven't used the bathroom without my phone in probably years.
Because you have to have it. It's a stimulation.
Yeah, when we go on a cruise, I don't get because I go on a cruise every year and we don't get the package. So I just don't have no service. And so it's nice to, like, I'll go places.
I mean, honestly, we've been thinking about going on a cruise, but if I go, I definitely don't want my phone.
Yeah, fuck that.
I want to just get away. Like, even if I'm going on like a vacation or something, like, I understand that I have my priorities and stuff with tattooing and I do have my job. But whenever it comes to like actually enjoying my time, like, I'm the type of person that I just want to cut it all off. Yeah. Like, this is my time to go and enjoy. I want to enjoy it because, my fiance, she is a mortician. With her working in that kind of field, it's really easy to realize life is not as permanent as we think. We do deal with things that could potentially take our life away. Like, I could literally drive home and get in a car wreck. Right. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Right.
But
I'd be scared on that boat, but then I'm like, man, I'm having fun. So fuck it. Yeah. But that is a really dangerous thing to do too.
Yeah. I want to get in a cage with sharks.
That would be cool.
Automatically my brain is just like, oh, this cage is going to fall and then I'm going to sink to the bottom of the ocean and I'm going to die.
Yeah. The deepest water I swam in, it was like 200 feet deep and we were snorkeling, but there was like a boat beside us. I had a life jacket on and shit, but like just looking down.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then just imagine really you look down and then you don't see anything.
Yeah,
or there's like so.
Have you ever been to the middle of the ocean?
No.
That's a cool part. So like on day 2 or 3, once you get away from everything, like you'll go out like, and you go to like the 18th floor of this humongous boat.
And you look around and there's nothing.
There's
just water.
Water in every direction. It's crazy. And you never.
It's like a surreal moment. I feel like
every time. And I've seen it because I've been on like 8 cruises now because I go every year, and it never. Like, I mean, once you're there for a while, you get used to it. But like that first time you look in every direction, There's nothing but water. That's some crazy shit.
That's
It
the
makes you
part
feel
that freaks
small,
me
yeah.
out because, we see all the animals that we have on Earth, like on the land.
Mhm.
Just imagine what is under that water.
Yeah, there could be some shit that's way down there.
They're trying to say that the pressure, that there's so much pressure down there that animals wouldn't be able to get big. But I mean, when you think about whales, like they don't just stay at the surface. They go down pretty deep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It seems like if something that lived in the deep, wouldn't they have to stay down there? Because
They wouldn't be able to come up.
come
That's
up
what
with
I
the
was thinking
pressure would
because the
change.
pressure,
Yeah.
Just like how a person can adjust to the pressure, but they have to slowly do it.
and we can only go so far.
Yeah. And then if we come up too fast, it can kill us.
Yeah. Whew.
We're so fragile.
Yeah, we really are. Like, there's some dangerous shit out there. I don't know. I like being in the woods. I like being, and there I like, especially when I don't like cut my hand off. But just being away from everything, it kind of reminds you, like, or you'll come across come across some hogs or something, and like, oh shit, like this is really dangerous. Like we were just camping, having a good time. Like this shit's dangerous, or a copperhead is right by your foot, right by your tent
Like you're
or something.
walking on a trail,
Yeah.
and then all you see is like a dangerous snake right there, and you're like, oh shit, like I really could die right now.
But most people live so cut off
Careless.
from nature, because of our food. We get our food. We don't think about where our burger come from. We don't, if especially like people that live in big cities, it's easy. I think it's easy to forget that like we're like animals.
Did you hear about McDonald's?
You talking about the whatchamacallit breakout?
Yeah, the E. coli.
Yeah, I
It's
ain't.
affecting like 16 states right now.
I haven't ate McDonald's in like 2 years.
I can't lie. I probably ate a quarter pounder like months ago.
I don't do it. It's like I cut off that. I cut off Taco Bell. Then it's like certain places where I eat. I like even my whole life. Like I never feel good. Like if I go smash Taco Bell, I feel like dog shit.
You gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the return of Taco Bell is worse than. But I just don't. I try to stop eating food that makes me feel like shit afterwards. But there are certain foods that.
It just really sucks because like, you crave it though.
Dude.
Like you crave it, but then you finally get it, and like it like scratched that itch. But then afterwards, you don't feel great because your tummy hurts, you're bloated. You're like, oh man, I got to go to the bathroom. And then it doesn't come out in a nice, solid form.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. But then like you eat fruits and stuff and they make you feel pretty good. But then
Our fruit, I'm so sad about our fruit and vegetables. Apparently, it's poison as everything else.
Yeah.
It's sad. There's a lot like the pesticides and shit like that. We still have a long way to go when it comes to like getting our food to the table like in a healthier way for us.
Because I mean, realistically, the only way that you know what happens to it is again, like what you see with your own eyes. So like I would love to grow crops. I would love it. Like I would love to grow my own food so that way I know it's naturally sourced. I'd love to go out. And honestly, that's why I would love to get into hunting because I would love to know that my meat is sourced from the source. There's nothing else. But like being a tattoo artist, I work from 11 to 9. I don't have hardly any time in the morning. I get up, I get ready, I talk to my fiance a little bit. She probably wishes that I would help clean the house a little bit more. But like I'm literally just waking up, drinking my coffee, and then I get ready for work. And then by 9:30, I'm like ready to go. By 10 o'clock, I have to leave the house and I'm there at like 11. So
it happens. Yeah.
It just feels like
we get into a system. We're in the system. And it's hard to get out of it. I love eating deer meat. We kill lots of deer. Between our family, we just pass deer meat around. And that's nice. It's like I kind of know where that's coming from. We have cows every once in a while. We'll have our own. But it's most people, the way how fast-paced life is, and it's kind of like a flaw of our society if we just, okay, I'll eat these nuggets because I'm in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like, there's never a good reason to eat chicken nuggets. Like there's never, like that's not ever the best idea.
Because I mean, they're not good for you. There is hardly anything good for you in it.
Yeah. And I don't even think it's chicken, but it just depends on.
But my thing is, how do they get away with it? How do they get away with
people are getting rich off this shit.
I know, but like the fact that McDonald's really isn't that good for you. And then the fact that they can sell it to you and you eat it and you consume it, or they make foods that are like carcinogenic. And they have like things in them that if you were to Like no one looks at the back. Like, I mean, obviously there are people out there who do it, but no one is going to look and be like, okay, the serving size is 12 chips. If I'm going to get a bag of chips, I'm probably going to eat the whole thing.
Maxing that shit out.
Yeah. Like whenever I get in the mood, I get Takis, and I love Takis.
Yeah,
I'll eat almost the whole bag.
Terrible. Those things are probably like fucking liquid poison. But I mean, there's big movement going on now where people are kind of questioning that. A lot of these doctors and.
But what are we going to do about it?
Well, I mean, they brought it to Congress, whatever the fuck that means. You know what that means, but like.
The FDA like doesn't approve of a lot of the food. Like if you look at it, a lot of like even looking at a bag of M&Ms. So
our shit's banned in other countries.
Yeah. Me and my fiance, we have like a little 7-year-old. It's about to be 8. And I was looking, she had some candy. It was M&Ms. I looked at it and it said like bioengineered product.
Oh, that's on tons of stuff.
I was just like, what? And then some of it says that it's not even like approved by the FDA and they're just selling it.
Yeah, the FDA is a touchy subject because they're in the pockets of the food. You know, so like there's a lot of flaws in our system, like the big pharma issues, news being owned by people that, you know what I'm saying? Like you think about the news, they can only talk about certain shit because they can't talk about the people that's paying them. This podcast is brought to you by Teel's Septic Service. Teel's, yes, that's right. It's in my name. It's our family business and it's been family owned and operated since the 1950s. Do a little math. That's 70 years we've been taking care of this area. So for your septic needs, call 903-794-4732. Now back to the show. It's the same thing with pharmacies. Like we're one of the only countries in the world. I think there's like 2 countries in the world that advertise medicine, like crazy medicine, where the list of fucking what it does to you is longer than the benefits. You know,
I went on a whole conspiracy theory about like the Cancer Association of America, whatever it's called.
Oh, I'm sure that's
and it was talking about how basically the things that they support are the things that are causing people cancer. The things that are like full of carcinogens and stuff, and like it's like being sponsored by things that literally give people cancer if they don't consume it in moderation.
Yeah, why fix cancer if you're the cancer?
Yeah,
folks. I mean, it's I believe it's more cost. I mean, they're going to make more money treating it than deleting it. You know, and so I think that's a lot of it. Like Fruit Loops in here in Canada are completely different. Like our shit looks better. Who gives a fuck what the Fruit Loops look like?
Yeah. I mean, if it looks not that great, I'll still eat it if it tastes good.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know. There's just lots of flaws in our system. And maybe enough people come together and be like, hey, we want to be healthy, you know?
I can't lie. Since I had COVID, I literally I feel like everything that I eat, I can like taste the chemicals in it. Oof. Like even drinking soda isn't the same.
Oh, dude, fuck soda. Soda's so bad.
Soda is bad, but I crave it every now and again, and I just have to have one.
Yeah, I get a Sprite every once in a while. Lately though, I've been drinking those poppies when I get an urge for it.
Yeah,
because they'll kind of sort of do it for you, and they only have like 3 grams of sugar in them, and they have like probiotics and shit in them. But
and I think it's so stupid that these Coke companies or just like these soda companies in general are coming out with like 0 sugar, 0 calorie.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's just like that other shit they add in to replace sugar is like
even
just
worse.
As bad. Yeah. I've caught myself drinking a Sprite Zero thinking I'm doing something, but it's probably not the play.
Because I mean, you still have artificial flavoring in there somehow.
Yeah, the only way we're going to fix it is if they start holding like the big companies. Because from what I've gathered in all my different studies, is that there's certain companies and corporations that almost have all the pull as far as everything. Pharmacy, food industry, news. You know what I'm saying? Like them are like the big ones. And then there's, they're the movers and shakers, the monies, the lobbyists, the people that the politicians answer to, the people that, you know.
I just don't understand, why aren't the people in power who are seeing these things and that agree like we do on it, why aren't they doing more about it?
Well, it's like political suicide though. Because like the big problem in politics is, and you'll hear this from anybody that studies politics now, is that it's more about getting reelected. So, you know, they'll do their donors are what's allowing them to have a campaign, right? So we could pull up Trump, if we could pull up Kamala, as Trump says, and you could look at their donors. Those are the most important people to them, more than likely. I mean, let's be realistic. They probably care about what the donors have to say, right? I'm pretty sure on that's how that kind of works in every industry. Every big major industry, there's people putting tons of money into it. And the people that ascend to the top a lot of time are just yes men. And they're the ones willing to go along with what it is. And that's how you end up with big pharma. That's how you end up with diseases that's how you end up with like the medical industry that gets paid more to treat something. Surgeons get paid to do surgery, not to fix you, to do surgery.
And then they fuck up sometimes because they literally have. There was the girl that I was talking about earlier that said the stuff about like getting adrenaline whenever you're shooting an animal. Yeah. She was talking about how she remembers that whenever she was getting her C-section done, that the surgeon and everything was going over all of the equipment that they had because surgeons are getting in trouble for leaving the equipment inside of people.
I've heard of that before. Yeah, that's crazy.
That is very crazy.
I think at one time America was really like the best shit. And we might still be compared to like some other shit that is still out there. There was probably like this golden age of America. And then even then we still had some like really bad fucking problems. Like if you think of it, like there was definitely still horrible instances like slavery and shit. You think of some of the times where America was probably ginning about as good as it has ever been as far as like shit working. We still had some of these awful things like where people weren't treated equally. So, I mean, it's still fucked. We've always been fucked. But I think these last like 70 years, we've just turned into like a big corporation, basically. And I think a lot of the individual industries are controlled. And so what we get is, if anybody's going to go to do any real change, you have to go against that machine.
It kind of makes me think of that. I've always loved the movie Catwoman with Halle Berry. And it's always been like a thing because like she's working for like this big corporation that is like selling this cosmetic stuff that is like hurting people. And like, that's when she gets washed out this big like sewer thing and she ends up dying, but then she gets brought back and then she's like Catwoman. But that's really how I've had a view of like America is like, it's like, even in big cities like New York and stuff where they have like the big billboards, it's all about like trying to look the most beautiful. And it's just so weird because you have like the most attractive people not campaigning, but advertising like products like Coke or like stuff like that. And it's always like these really in shape, like really naturally attractive people like promoting all of this stuff.
Yeah, probably people that probably on a no sugar diet or something in order to
that are probably drinking like colored water or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just something that in every industry is almost there's just corruption in all of it now. I mean, it's just like you think there's somewhere out there's some famous rapper that doesn't let their kids listen to the music. It's the same thing. Like they know well enough that their kids shouldn't listen to it, but everybody else's kid is free game.
And that's just so crazy to me.
I don't think, and that's the thing, on a lot of this shit, I don't think most people are evil. And I don't even think people that are being used for evil are evil a lot of the times. A lot of that shit is just comes from just doing what, rising through the ranks and what that can do to you as a person. I think you can inevitably end up working for like the wrong team on accident. And you don't really think you're doing anything malicious. You're just moving up the ladder. You're just getting by. You're just surviving. And when everybody is just getting by, we all kind of turn into a whole country full of yes men. And before long, we're eating like poison cereal. And then we're just like, well.
And that's the whole conforming thing. Like, you see one person that's doing this and then you see another person, and then you start to do it because you realize that all these other people are doing it. But I do feel like there are a lot of people, like, it's just crazy to me to think that the people who are in control of like a lot of these like things, a good example, just
they may be evil.
Yeah.
The people at the top might truly be evil.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
I think a lot of people get used for evil, and I think they're decent people.
But they don't realize it until it's too late.
Yeah.
And then they can't turn back because they've already done.
Yeah. It's sad. I don't know. I think it'll take some type of big awakening where everybody gets on the same page, especially about health. It'll have to be. But I mean, it'll be a pendulum. It seems like everything has to go back and forth. You see it in everything. There's over censorship. Oh, well, then people start talking crazy, and then it's just shit like that. You know, we see it in everyday life. Like the pendulum will swing this way, and we'll all get fat and out of shape and shitty, and then maybe we'll all fucking get right for a little bit, and then it'll be too perfect. And somebody will be like, remember when we used to drink sodas and eat Twinkies and shit? And they'll be like, man, that was the days. And they'll swing that motherfucker back the other way.
It's all about the balance.
Yeah.
Like it's all about having like we were talking about angels and demons. It's all about having that balance of that good and that evil. But I really do feel like the people who are out there that are like Americans, a lot of them, like we have an obesity problem in America.
Oh, yeah. Which is wild. Because we're like one of the, and I was talking to the history guy today, and we were talking about obesity, and he was like, if you were big back then, dude, that meant you were balling. Yeah, because how else could you get big in the 1300? Yeah. That means you were actually eating.
And if you had pale skin, that meant that you weren't a worker. It meant that you weren't going outside. Yeah.
So we're
constantly changing our ideas and beliefs. Like there is times where like being in tan and in shape and stuff is good. But then there's times where being pale and a little overweight is like the shit.
Yeah. It's going to keep swinging. We'll dress like we did in the 70s soon, or, just these, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I just have like a biased opinion on it. But honestly, the way that they lived in like the 60s and 70s, like it just, like, I'm not even talking about like any war. I'm not talking about anything that was going on that was like a negative thing. I'm talking like whenever like they
the
would
hippie movement or something.
That was just so, everybody was just so undeniably themselves. And that's just what I wish people would do.
The problem with that is that they got kind of hijacked towards the end of it. And since they were so free-spirited, they were able to maneuver them into getting used for something else. So
it just feels like and it sucks because like being a person like I am, I'm a very like genuine, kind person, and it's very easy for me to be like used. Yeah. And it sucks so much. And like that's something that I really appreciate my fiance for, because she has really opened my eyes to how people can be. And she's made me realize that sometimes like the people that you think that you can trust, you really can't trust them. And it has sucked so much. Like sometimes like I've talked about like my exes to her and stuff, and just realizing that they weren't like the best person is like the hardest thing, because I always want to see the good in people, always, because it's just like I preach about like good and evil, but then like I hate seeing the evil in people. I always try to give people a benefit of the doubt, even if like my stepmom, who I'm not like very close with or anything, she would always tell me that I was like a puppy dog. Like people would beat me down and stuff, but then I would go back with my tail wagging because that's just who I am. I don't like having like negative ill will towards anybody. So it's just.
Yeah. And somebody out there is sitting there like this. Yeah. That's the type of person people are. I don't know. I don't know how people do it. I don't know how someone could do that to somebody who is like, I don't understand how another human being could see another human being that is like hurting or in like a place of vulnerability and be like, this is my chance. Like I can take advantage of them right now. I think people just get in survival mode and they get like, I don't know, you can, because there's like two modes you can live your life in. You can like, and a lot of times once you get your shit together, you kind of can transition out of survival mode. But there's a lot of people that are stuck in like survival mode. And to them,
everything's cutthroat.
Yeah, anything that will move them forward makes sense. And I guess that's how, like really to wrap everything up, because it is getting late, but I think that's how people do get into these like compromised positions. I think it happens slowly over time. And I think it does just come from like, anytime you can rationalize something, because it's not hard to convince yourself something, we come with all these biases and all this stuff, just naturally, it seems like.
But we're so easily persuaded.
Yeah. I just think that if you convince yourself something, it just depends on, like you convince yourself, I'm in survival mode, I need to do this. Once you can make that make sense in your head, that's where I feel like we are capable of some of these like darker things that like doesn't seem like that's not something that you think would happen. But like you say, the TV is filled with crime and all this stuff. I mean, you can go watch the documentaries. It's like there's crazy people are a dime a dozen. It's I don't know. I think it happens slowly over time. And I think as people just get locked in, I got to do this. I got to do this to get out of this and this. And before long, you're like Charles Manson and you're trying to create the race war that doesn't. So your believers will keep believing you. I mean, that's an extreme case, obviously. But,
I mean, that's what a lot of cult leaders, they have an end goal.
Yeah.
And usually it's to take people out with them.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. I just think to wrap everything up, you got to get out of survival mode. You got to get into like being grateful and enjoying life. And, and if people...
Seeing the positive.
Yeah, seeing the positive. And if people use you, fuck them. If you just got to get smart enough to see it, like, oh, this person's using me, fuck them, and keep going. And then I was talking to Tony Langford. He's been a business dude around here for a long time. And he was like, it's really your circle at the end of the day. Like, that's who you really impact. And, some of us may not like just change the world, which it is possible, but
we make small steps and it really helps. Like,
right. So
even just like, if you do like a small good deed.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I know you said that it's getting late and everything. We have like a moral code.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people think that if they do a small good deed, then they're good for the rest of the day. Like they think that like, oh, because I helped this elderly person or because I helped this person that asked me for my help, that, now, like, let's say I saw this thing that was like it was some kind of like, what is it called? It's like an experiment that they were doing where they trashed a park for the name of science. They went and they cleaned it up, but they hired these actors to like do a PSA about the park, and they asked them for their help to clean up. Well, if they didn't help to clean up, then there would be like a quote unquote homeless guy that would come up. They just gave him $50 bills, and the homeless man would be like, "Hey, do you have some money to spare?" And a lot of them would feel guilty for not helping clean up, so they'd give them $1. But if they help clean up, then usually they wouldn't give the $1 bill. So
they felt like they had done.
Yeah, they felt like they had done their good deed for the day. And I feel like what we need to do is whenever we are faced, like if it's not putting ourselves in a tough situation or like putting ourselves out, if we can, I feel like we should always try to do a good deed for other people, not just because I'm a people pleaser or whatever, but because of the fact that I feel like genuinely we should look out for each other.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're all on this earth together. We all shit, we all pee, we all, we're the same. We burp, we fart, all kinds of stuff. Like we're just people. People are people. And I feel like we are trying so hard to hide that fact. But if we all come together, I feel like we really could have a good life.
I agree. I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
There you have it. Alexis Holder.
Oh, I'm getting married tomorrow.
Oh yeah, she's getting married.
I told my future wife that I would say that.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everything goes well for y'all.
Thank you. Hope to be back sometime.
Yeah, we could definitely talk. We just talked for like 2 hours, I imagine.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. We're out of here.